Hello everyone and welcome back to Silicon Sounds, audio for the rest of us. Before I start this review of a wonderful IEM I have here, I just want to thank everybody who's taken the time to subscribe, tell your friends about it. I'm part of a reviewing group based here in Canada, and we can be found on Facebook in a group that goes by the name of Canuck Audioholics. Once again, Canuck Audioholics. If you want to find us, join our group, be part of a growing community of music lovers first who just happen to listen to different gear. Please feel free to do so. Today I have the distinct pleasure of reviewing an IEM from a company that is well known in the audio space, iBasso or iBasso. What's not well known is that they produce some very high quality IEMs. This is the Jr Klee. Interesting name. I like to title this review as The Musical Unknown. iBasso is a brand that is well known for its standout digital audio portable players or digital audio players, DAPs for short. What seems to be the case here is that many don't know how good they actually are at producing great sounding IEMs as well. The Jr Klee is an unpretentious product, boasting a single lithium-magnesium alloy dome as the only driver housed in a simple stainless steel shell. Let me just wipe this. There you go. Get a nice look at it. It's got some branding here. Some venting on the top, 2-pin. This is the Klee, and it's a shame. It's a shame. It's a single dynamic driver IEM retailing for $80 USD. Fantastic price considering the type of sound quality. In the hands of a master, though, simple is a good thing, and with the Jr Klee, iBasso have shown that they know what they're doing. The Klee is fairly easy to drive. And again, at its asking price of $80 US, does surprisingly well with more resolving sources. This is a resolving IEM. Really, if you didn't look at the price, you'd be hard-pressed to think that it's $80. This IEM, the Jr Klee, puts many of its competitors on notice with its even-handed musicality. As per usual, tip selection is very important. I went with a set of wide bore tips, which allowed the Klee to sit comfortably in my ears for hours. Of course, the size has a lot to do with it and the shape. And I had allowed the Klee to present its most open and spacious sound, which it has inherently. Tuning wise, we have a mild V-shaped presentation with a touch of sub-bass prominence and some in the treble. Overall, though, the Klee comes off as more balanced than any aggressive V-shape, which it is not. Specs, driver, 10mm dual magnetic circuit dynamic driver. Driver material is interesting. It's not LCP. It's a lithium-magnesium alloy dome. The plug, as we see here, for the cables is your typical 2-pin, 0.78mm plug. Frequency response 20 to 40 kilohertz, impedance 22 ohms, and fairly sensitive, I should say, at 112 decibels. Build and fit. Well, I only received the IEM itself for evaluation, so I can't talk about even the cable, which is fine because it's what the IEM, the sound, this is what I'm here for. The Klee is an unassuming looking IEM. Let's roll it around a bit. There's some vent holes right there. I think there might be another. Really unassuming. We can tell that it's a two-piece construction, but really made it very, very well. Its stainless steel shells are beautifully finished and colored in an interesting shade of blue. They are of medium size with a prominent nozzle protrusion, as we can see right there. Which really makes for an easy fit in my ears, no issue at all when the right tips were chosen. Again, I didn't receive any accessories, so I can't really comment on the retail presentation here. Let's talk about the sound. Bass. Bass goes deep with ample control and speed, and this is going to come back again and again. The bass has a taut richness to it. Even though the bass is tight, well controlled, I think we see another vent hole right there. It has a taut richness to it that I did find pleasing. This level of bass control sets the Klee apart from many of its competitors. The low end has good power and drive when the track calls for it. Angel by Massive Attack has a driving bass line with audible texture, and the Klee did wonderfully here, relaying the power while also laying bare the textured low end. The Klee's bass is, if anything, agile, lending itself well to jazz tracks, such as No Worries by the Robert Glasper Trio, fantastic album by the way, yet still able to project good drive, power on house music tracks such as Stella by a guy called Gerald, also known as Gerald Simpson. The low end of the iBasso Klee is done very well. A combination of fantastic drive coupled with great tuning, obviously a wonderful driver, has resulted in fantastic sound with the low end. Let's talk about the mid-range. The mid-range is clean and open sounding with good quantities of both macro and micro details heard. The lower mids have a small touch. No, the bass does not really bleed into the lower mids, but there's still a small touch of warmth that adds to the organic presentation. Both male and female vocals sounded clean and distinct, not coming across as enhanced, particularly in the case of female vocals, which is unfortunately a common issue in many earphones these days. Listening to Love You to the Letter by Anita Baker, the soothing vocal delivery was a pleasure to listen to hear. Pin again is kept in check, even though there's some added energy in the upper mids, but definitely kept in check. No harshness was noted, timbre is good, and dynamic passages sound clean and unrestrained. Transients also are relayed well with sharp attack and natural fall off. Great driver, very fast, good control, good responsiveness. Layering and separation were also notable. The Klee besting many of its rivals with a great driver and again capable tuning. In the mid-range, where the Klee really excels lies in its unbarred cleanliness. The listening experience is where the listener feels that they're missing nothing. You feel that everything that's in the track is being laid bare and you're hearing everything that's in the music. While this is a combination of many factors, iBasso seems to have gotten this recipe right. While it may not possess the absolute refinement of some more expensive models, such as the Timsock TS316, the Klee more than holds its ground among competitors in its price range and even above. Treble. The treble is clean and extended with good quantities of sparkle and air. The Klee and a few others are living proof that a single dynamic driver equipped earphones can sound fantastic and have a noticeable extension on both ends of the frequency spectrum. There is some prominence noted in the treble range, but it's not enough to hurt the feelings of those treble sensitive folks. No harshness or splashiness was noted, which is necessary when you have a little bit of emphasis in the treble. At times, the most distracting thing is when the treble becomes splashy, and in a Klee, not at all. Fantastic control, as heard in the bass and the mids. Great control noted here. The treble here complements the overall tuning with exceptionally open and clean sounding sonics. Imaging and soundstage, the iBasso Klee throws up a moderately sized soundstage beyond the ears, of course, most definitely, not confined to within the head space. There is some space around, with good stability in its imaging. Instruments had fairly precise placement. The notable layering and separation combined with the impressive speed of the driver allow for the space between the instruments to be heard. When listening to Robert Glasper, again, Robert Glasper Trio, No Worries is the name of the track. It's a trio, but gets very busy, the track, and each instrument had its own space, yet came together wonderfully for this fantastic song, this fantastic track. One thing I did notice about the Klee, and I noticed this, it stands out whenever I hear this, is the Klee's ability to project the space in between the notes, the dead silence in between each note. This is rare in earphones in this price range and adds to the immersive quality while listening. What I'm trying to talk about is music is not just about plucking a string, hearing a horn, vocals, the notes. It's also important, or maybe arguably more important, to be able to relay the space, the void between the notes. And this really adds to the impressive nature of the transit of the notes. And it's just a beautiful thing. And the Klee actually, at this price, surprisingly, can relay that. Versus QA Mimosa. Let me drop the Mimosa in here. Another one of my faves in this price range. I think the Mimosa is about $10, $15 more expensive. The Klee is at $80. The Mimosa is at $99. So we call it $20. Well, the Mimosa is another standout IEM. And I'll give you a closer look. While this is a review of the Klee, the Mimosa is a beautiful IEM from Queen of Audio from the house of Kinera. It goes its own way when it comes to tuning, the Mimosa that is. It has a comparatively more vibrant sound with arguably better detail retrieval, but just a little more detail. Bass is where the Mimosa takes the lead. Both have standout bass control, but the Mimosa has more impact with comparable speed and detail. In the mid-range, the Mimosa and Klee are not that far apart, with the former, the Mimosa, having a little bit more vibrancy while the latter being somewhat more balanced. Both have a clarity of mid-range that is very alluring. The Treble again sees the Mimosa having more energy while remaining composed. The Klee is no slouch in energy in the Treble, by the way. The Mimosa might have a slightly better extension, but you don't feel like you're losing anything with the Klee. The Klee may be a better fit for those who are treble sensitive than the Mimosa. That's as far as I'll go with that. Each has good detail retrieval here, but the Klee sounds just a touch more natural in the treble, but the Mimosa is a fantastic listen as well. So pick your poison, folks. Conclusion. I had a few IEMs on my desk, as I always do. If you could see my desk now, I have several that I've listened to. And contrary to popular belief, I do not review everything that comes in. There are certain IEMs that I have. I know someone was mentioning in the comments, all my reviews are positive. Not necessarily. Read between the lines. That being said, most IEMs are a compromise because it's a compromise between the designer, what they want, and the listener's preferences and hearing. That being said, there are a number of IEMs that I have in my possession, and it keeps rotating as part of a review group that never actually get a video or get even a written review. The Klee is different. Again, I had a few of the IEMs on my desk and just popped the Klee in to my ears for a quick listen. Well, wouldn't you know it? This quick listen turned into many hours of enjoyment, musical enjoyment. iBasso has never marketed their IEMs as actively as they do their DAPs. I think this is a mistake, iBasso. Come on. And I think this is a shame. The Klee is the second iBasso IEM that I have heard, and both times I've come away more than impressed. The Klee, in my honest opinion, has been slept on, and this is unfortunate. The Jr Klee offers a quality, clean, and clear sound with a smattering of organics thrown in for good measure. At $80, I do recommend that anyone looking for quality sound in that price range, add the Klee to their shopping list. The iBasso Jr Klee gets a solid recommendation from Silicon Sounds. And that is the end of the review of the iBasso Jr Klee. This is a good one, folks. At $80, definite contender in the $80 to even up to $150 range. Once again, thanks for watching the review. Tell others about the site. And we can see you online on social media. We do have a presence on Hi-Fi Guides. I will link it below as well. We have a presence on Facebook at Canuck Audioholics. And I will see you again in the next review.